here in TCO Studios with Minnesota Vikings first-round draft pick Lewis Cine. I had to do it, but Lewis, I promise I won't make that joke again. We were just talking, and it's been 15 hours since your entire life has changed. What has that been like since you got the call?
It's been all gas, no breaks, with meetings, talking to media, getting a feel for, the Vikings organization and the people. It's a new regime, getting a vibe for them. So it's been great.
You've described your 5-year-old daughter, Bella, as your why. What did she have to say about Dad's big news?
She was actually throwing a fit.
Oh, no.
She's like, oh, my gosh.
She's like, that's far from home, huh?
Yeah. She wanted to take, we wanted to take photos. It's like, come on, let's take some photos. Nah, she was not having it.
It was a little late in the night, though.
Yeah, so off schedule. She was off schedule in terms of her sleep, so I would understand that.
Yeah, well, she is going to be quick to know about Victor, about the Vikings, and this community as a whole. Speaking of back home, though, in your community, the legendary Deion Sanders, a coach and mentor for you, he said this about you: flat out earned everything he has and is going to receive. A great young man that has a bright future ahead of him. He obviously thinks really highly of you. What's the biggest lesson that you've learned from him?
Out of all the lessons I've learned from him, he has a new perspective about life. People see prime time, but I got to know Deion Sanders, real humble guy, real spiritual, real good with people, his kids, his family. Just everyday life, and also like how to be a pro, how to invest money, how to not spend too much money, so all that.
It kind of brings me to my next question, which was when you told the media your dreams may have came true last night, but there's so much work to be done. Where does that sense of grounding come from?
I don't know. In Boston, the mindset is like blue collar. You're gonna have lows, you're gonna have highs. Don't let your highs get too high. Let your lows get too low. Kind of keep it even killed, because anything can change in a second. So that's really how I look at it. It's like, okay, it's great that I've reached here, but it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So I got to keep it as a marathon and keep working.
That's the attitude that the coaching staff here has really adopted. And I know when they turned on the tape of Lewis Cine and they saw the split personality, because you're such a mild-mannered, very polite guy, and then you step on that field and you're just a totally different person. Even your teammates have said so. So how would you describe Lewis Cine as he goes onto the field?
On the field, I'm a different person. I just want to wreck stuff, make sure my presence is felt. I make an impact on the game and the team doesn't want to play me again. But off the field, I'm really laid back, chill. I like being off the radar. So, I feel like you gotta have a balance, and that's what I have, really.
A balance of personality. Yes, you certainly do, on and off the field, right? Well, Vikings GM Kwesi Adofo-Mensah also mentioned that you have a diverse skill set, I think is the exact words that he said, and that they want to be able to get you creatively working in their schemes. How do you think this coaching staff can put you in there creatively?
I think they have a whole lot of creative guys there, and they've been some places and ran some different things in terms of defense. Where with me is it kind of allows them flexibility, because I got the size, I got the speed, and I can do everything. So I'm a problem solver in a way, and that's where I see it fit. It's not one particular spot. It's just we want them there this week, we want them there this week, we want them there. Just solve problems.
Have you always been a problem solver?
Yeah.
Is that how your mind works?
Yeah, you have to be, because things change fast. You got to be able to adapt and change.
That's awesome. Well, you go from Georgia as a national champion, and now you're here in Minnesota, where you get to learn under some other great defensive players. A guy like Harrison Smith, who's a 6-time Pro Bowler, 5 straight. What does it mean to you to be able to absorb anything that you can from a guy like that?
I texted him earlier today, and he texted me back.
Okay.
Yeah. Told him, I watched a whole lot of his film, and he's like a guy I can learn a whole lot from. And I'm coming with the mindset of just learning and being a sponge. He's played in the league for a whole lot, and he's a great leader, and he has the record to show for it, and the numbers to show for it. So I'm gonna come in, kind of be right next to him and learn, pick and choose. It's like, all right, I'm learning this, learning that, I can add this in my game. But, I'm real excited to learn from him, to see what he can offer me in terms of I'm a young guy, young rookie. I can learn a lot.
You watched his game. What do you like about him?
Similar playing style, but
Yeah?
he's really smart. He takes a whole lot of risks because he's smart. He watches a whole lot of film. He's same personality in a way, quiet guy, just wants to play football. It's the same thing.
Did he give you any early on advice when you guys were talking this morning?
Not yet. He just says, enjoy the process. He's real excited to play right next to me and, kind of teach me here and there. So I would say likewise.
That's great. Well, I mentioned you were a national champion with Georgia, but you've also were a champion in 8th grade, a champion twice in high school. What have you learned? What do you think it takes to become a champion? What have you learned?
It takes sacrifice. It takes chopping wood constantly, because day in and day out, there's going to be times and moments you don't want to do. You don't want to go to work or you don't want to do what you're doing,
Sure.
But you got to push yourself. And there's a lot of no's you have to tell to other people or to distractions to, be at best at your craft.
You are the only second active NFL player born in Haiti. What does it mean to you to represent your culture on such a big stage?
I'm real proud of that, honestly. When they told me about that fact, I was shocked. I was like, what? I would expect more Haitians to be in the league or something. But, I'm real humble, but at the same time, real proud from where I came from and wear it with a big badge and happy soul. Well,
you and our GM have something in common. Interning at Morgan Stanley, we learned something new. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Were you surprised when you heard that on the phone?
Yeah, I'm like, that's a weird fact. But when he told me today, it's like, yeah, I interned there. And then he asked me, what's the situation and why did I intern there? It's a great story, though.
Oh, well,
you guys
tell us the story.
Right,
yes, of course. You can't leave us hanging.
So basically, I was doing my mom's immigration papers. Yeah, before NIL, I had to get the money somehow. So that's how I got the money. Working through there. I learned one, but also got paid so I can do my mom's papers. Right now, I'm just waiting for the okay to give her a visa.
Well, have you talked to her? I mean, obviously you've talked to her.
I've talked to her, but she doesn't really know much about football. She doesn't care about football.
Yeah.
So every day, day in and day out, she asks me, oh, did you go to school today? I said, oh, no, Mom, I didn't. Little does she know, it's like, hey, I'm gonna wait and then go get my degree.
It's a different kind of school now, Mom, right?
Yeah, she goes, oh, did you have practice? Well, I'm on a break. So, yeah.
Well, Lewis, we are so excited to have you here on the Minnesota Vikings. Congratulations on being selected first round. And like you said, the work, it's to be done, right?
Yeah.
We're excited to have you.
Thank you for having me.